I don't know, man. The latest crop, especially the last year, has just been disgusting extraction events.
Is Memecoin industrial complex going to be one of the catchphrases of 2025? Is that one of the ways we're going to remember this year?
Ooh, no, this is a good one. Eh?
Price in this market is what attracts the attention. And it's sad but true. There will be a lot of cool projects that just don't get the price action, don't get the attention, and they die. So I'm basically cut that out. Cut that out. Just stop the recording.
God, the queen is turning in her grave, guys.
Ooh, 200,000 in 2025. Ooh, this is a controversial one. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to More Coin Bureau. I am joined by Nick. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mono, how are you? GM guys?
So today we have some questions to answer. Now, some of these are questions that you, our audience, have sent in. Some are also questions that have been posed by the team here, and we're going to answer them as simply and succinctly as possible using either a yes or a no. I think there is a maybe option as well, but we'll try to be unequivocal.
And we haven't seen these at all, so it will be our authentic reaction to the questions, as well as we'll try and have a bit of a discussion. Hopefully it won't evolve into argument or a fight.
Yes, let's hope we can keep it from becoming horrifyingly violent at any point. But let's see, because Nick and I don't always agree on everything, crypto related or otherwise. So let's see. Okay, let's have the first question. Has ETH peaked? Ooh, has ETH peaked?
Ooh.
I'm going to kick off and say no, ETH has not peaked.
Yes. There we go. That was a good one. That was a good one to start with, guys. Yeah, now we know.
One to start with. Okay, so you basically think it's over.
Well, so maybe I should have caveated. I don't know. I mean, it's like maybe I should have maybe. I'm going to change my answer. Maybe, because I think it's peaked against BTC.
Okay.
It's peaked against BTC.
Right,
There's no way it's going to recover against Bitcoin. 100%. I can say that categorically. In terms of fiat, I mean, what's the long enough time frame? Who knows? I mean, it's like, I think it's possible, obviously, with RWAs and that coming into the fray, and being the blockchain for institutions. But the power and strength behind Bitcoin right now, there's no ways that ETH can catch up to that.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. It probably has peaked against Bitcoin. That's for sure. All right. Well, what started as perhaps a disagreement, there is some consensus there. Yeah. It all depends on your metric.
They should have explicitly stated whether it's going to be against fiat or Bitcoin or Sol or the Zimbabwean dollar.
Got to be more precise. Okay, next question.
Are Memecoins bad for crypto?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to say yes. They are bad for crypto.
Again, it's a difficult one because this is a more nuanced answer.
As you can tell, I don't do nuance.
Nuance doesn't do nuance, guys.
This is my natural habitat. It's just like, yep, nope.
I'm gonna go, yeah. Generally, yes. Right now, yeah.
Yeah, meme coins are bad. They weren't always, but they have proved to be now. And I think we just need to move past.
They had a noble beginnings around a community-driven, coin of some description that the community could take part in, Dogecoin, all these others.
Yeah.
But the latest crop, especially the last year, has just been disgusting extraction events. Yeah. So yeah.
But then maybe it's unfair to blame it on meme coins themselves per se, because I guess you could argue that they've become easier to issue, easier to create, but they haven't fundamentally changed. It's the fact that, bad people become able to issue them and game the system, and like any good qualities that meme coins had have been lost because of the people using them.
Yeah, and the Memecoin industrial complex has been developed in order for mass extraction right now, whereas in the past it wasn't. Kinship with the meme. Now it's just about how much money can we steal and grab in the first, launch.
Okay, so another quick one. I'm going to interject a question of my own here. Is Memecoin industrial complex going to be one of the catchphrases of 2025? Is that one of the ways we're going to remember this year? Memecoin industrial complex.
I think it should be, and I started that, so let's just call it. I thought that up well. So guys, let's make it happen. Let's make it go viral. Memecoin industrial complex is bad. It's worse than the military industrial complex.
For Nick's sake, yes, Memecoin industrial complex is one of the phrases by which we will remember 2025 for better or for worse.
And I will be remembered just like Harry Truman is remembered for starting the military industrial complex. I think he started that. I think it was Truman.
Truman or Eisenhower?
It was the one. Was it Truman? Good
Question
fact
for
check.
you guys.
Yeah, there we go.
Who coined the term
Who could-
military-industrial complex? Am I right with Eisenhower,
I think
or
you,
is
I
Nick
think you
right
may
with
be
Truman?
right. Yeah, with Eisenhower. Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
find out. Okay, back to crypto.
Back to
Next,
crypto. Not a history lesson, guys.
3 hours later. Will you hold your BTC into a bear market? Yes. Again, I just know. I just fundamental, no nuance here. Yes.
Yeah.
BTC is my sort of de facto savings account. So I've got a very long time frame on BTC. At some point, I may sell some of it in order to, in order to do something. Maybe I'll be forced to sell it for whatever reason. But basically, I see myself as holding it for years into the future.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree. It depends your time frame for investing, right? If your goal was to make money before the end of the cycle to invest in something, maybe a different answer. Definitely the long term. So yeah, I'll hold it through whenever this end of the cycle will be.
Okay.
Could gaming drive mass adoption, y'all?
Ooh. Okay. Will gaming drive mass adoption? I'm going to say no.
Interesting.
There's a bit of hair attached to this. No.
Okay. Mass adoption of cryptocurrency, I assume it's also a nuanced one. I don't want to be like, I got to give a definitive answer. Yeah. I'll say no as well.
Okay. I think this was something that was talked about a lot, maybe last year and kind of previous years. And GameFi has yet to break out. And this is kind of strange because we are actually starting to see like good Web3 games.
Yeah, we are, exactly. And I mean, it is, I think that the notion there behind it was like type of population group that's into gaming would be potentially into crypto, Gen Z, younger types. And the fact that they do exist in-game currencies that could, cryptocurrencies could be, because it's no longer having to exist within this walled garden. But I think that there's many other narratives that are more likely to push mass adoption than gaming. Payments.
PayFi is kind of my current one. I think the one thing that will get crypto to a mass audience is probably payments. Yeah, stablecoin payments.
Yeah. So no, I don't think so. Not exclusively, definitely not.
But wouldn't complain if it did.
Yeah, damn straight.
Are there too many altcoins for another alt season?
Ooh, this is a controversial one.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, but I acknowledge that smarter people than me have refuted this. So I think there's a good argument to be made for either side of it. But I personally believe there are too many altcoins for the sort of alt season that we're accustomed to, the sort of alt season that we grew up on.
I'm gonna take a contrarian slant just because I want to be a bit more, argumentative, and I'm gonna say no. And I think the reason is because we've also got a video on this. Now, I also did hold that view, and we've talked about it quite a few times, and it's actually quite an in-depth conversation. But it also depends. And I used the analogy in one of the lives, remember, about concept of stocks, right?
Yeah.
Just because you have a lot of really shitty altcoins that never even lived and were just issued, doesn't mean that when people come back in, when retail wants to come back in, they're not going to look at the high value ones in the top 50, top 100. And also the fact that the capital, it's Pareto distributed, right? Like a Pareto distribution. Attention will be focused on the ones with the most capital already in the top 50 to 100. So if we do, now obviously, yes, I mean, the question about whether it's going to be like an altcoin season like last time around is a different discussion, but it doesn't mean because you've got all these shitters that are issued on pump.fun that you're not going to have people interested in the top 50 because, that's where a lot of the attention is, and they're not going to study and then look into projects like Solana, Sui, and all these others because of some shitcoin that was issued on pump.fun 2 days ago.
I agree with that. And I agree with the Pareto distribution in the sense that and we've kind of seen this. We've seen this already. Like when Bitcoin hit 100K, in the wake of Trump winning the presidency, etc., like there was that renewed interest in crypto. We did see new people come into the market. And where did the money go? Like the money went into older cryptocurrencies, XRP, ADA, HBAR, XLM, etc., that people were either familiar with or I think that were accessible. Like Litecoin as well is a good example. Like on every exchange, like, wherever you are, whatever jurisdiction you're in, whatever exchange you're using, chances are you can get your hands on those coins fairly easily because they're listed. My problem is with that argument is that, you've got the top 50, you've got the top 100, and then you've got the absolute millions upon millions of microcap shitters that mean nothing. Yeah. What about everything in between? what about because I think in previous bull markets, what we've seen with a smaller market, a smaller distribution of coins and tokens, we've seen everything go crazy. And some things have gone up more than others, and it's been at sort of slightly different times, but generally the whole altcoin market has gone skyward. And I just can't see that happening now for let's I'm not going to name a particular project, but let's take the example of a small cap deep in project that's maybe number 500 or something on, in terms of market cap. Those are the ones that I think are going to suffer from this undue distribution, because I just don't think between Bitcoin and all the money Bitcoin dominance is still over 60%, between all the capital that's been sucked up by those higher cap coins, and in particular ones that have been around for a long time, and all the sort of speculative capital that's been hoovered up by all the millions of low cap shitters, I just don't think that leaves much for the smaller projects in between. And that I think is a real shame, because I think a lot of those will be genuine attempts to make a decentralized version of an already centralized protocol. Do you know what I mean? Something kind of a genuine product. And I think those are the ones that are going to suffer. And we're not going to see these truly innovative projects. We're not going to see a lot of them get the capital that they would need to sort of really pump. And for me, that's what alt season is. Alt season is an across the board pump. So maybe we shouldn't be talking about alt season at all. Maybe we should be talking in sort of rotating alt season.
Yes, I do agree that there's going to be some projects which are not going to get the attention, not going to get the capital this cycle. But isn't that what's happened in previous altcoin cycles as well? Think about some of the altcoins that were around in 2017 that never performed in 2021. Or some of what happened to Dash or some of these other ones, right? And there were lots of exciting projects in the 2021 cycle that didn't just rally because it was the rest of the market rallying. We can discuss in terms of how broad it could be, in terms of what sort of small or how far down the list projects are not going to get attention. But yeah, I think it's the ones that are in the strongest narrative, the ones that have the most solid team that can push things forward, the ones that are building exciting things are likely to get the attention and still rally. And the ones who aren't competing on that front are not going to get the same attention or capital, as was the case, I think, in previous cycles.
Well, yeah, I think, but you look back to other cycles, and so many things have had so many of these altcoins have had their sort of moment in the sun. It's that classic altcoin chart, isn't it? Nothing, 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 massive spike, nothing, 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 nothing. And I think now we're at the stage where there are some altcoins that are just not going to get that at all. They're not even going to get that moment in the sun, which to me, again, is kind of what alt season is about. But it's not necessarily a bad thing, because kind of what you were referring to, it sort of means okay, projects that are, and there's a certain amount of Lindy effect to it, isn't there? Established projects with strong developers, strong treasuries and things like that. They're the ones that are going to be the main beneficiaries of this. And that's maybe not necessarily a bad thing. I just think I think we're probably going to lose some really promising projects that don't have the resources that might in previous cycles have had a shot. But this time it's just so much harder to get that chance, to get a few people picking up on it and going, hey, this is a really cool and interesting project. Let's, I'm going to put some money into this. And then, because obviously price in this market is what attracts the attention. And it's sad but true. There will be a lot of cool projects that just don't get the price action, don't get the attention, and they die.
Well, they just need to work harder to get that attention then. No? Sorry, guys.
Just issue your own meme coin. Go
and do the Aptos CTO, the guy going out there replying. Come on.
Aptos looking good.
Aptos looking good, guys. Looking good. Don't get sidelined.
Okay, well, 3 hours later.
There we go.
Will XRP get the next ETF?
What did you say?
No.
Oh, we're agreed.
We agreed.
No. What do you think will get the next ETF?
Litecoin.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it'll be Litecoin.
Yeah. Not only us, but also the Polymarket odds, as well as the Bloomberg ETF analysts think that Litecoin ETF is the most likely.
Yeah, I think it will be Litecoin, XRP, maybe HBAR, then Sol.
Interesting.
Or maybe Sol, then HBAR.
Although the probabilities are slightly different to that. I think it's Litecoin, Dogecoin.
Oh, I'd forgotten about Doge, yeah.
Dogecoin's going, yeah.
I mean, like, given that, Doge is now sort of not officially, but, there's the Department of Government Efficiency, and like Elon Musk is basically kind of running America
exactly,
now, isn't
yeah.
he? So, yeah, maybe it'd be
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin first.
There you go.
Will we see another AI agent pump?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that technology is too interesting and is too promising not to get a second wind. I think the initial excitement around it, it's been pointed out, hasn't it, that like a lot of these AI agents are basically meme coins with chatbots attached.
Most of them
the other
were.
way around.
I think all of those, the current crop were, right? So, and that's why they got the attention. The Memecoin people were diving into AI agents and pumping it, Goat, and all these others, AI16Z, Podcoin, I mean, all that stuff. But when AI agents become a lot better and utilities created behind these tokens and they develop solid tokenomics and you can utilize the tokens, then we'll see a resurgence again, yes.
I think it's a similar thing to what is going to drive the resurgence in DeFi. It's when regulation allows for value to accrue to token holders.
Is this real life?
I'm going to go ahead and say, I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a simulation in this crypto space.
No, it's not. It's not real life.
It could be the Matrix, bro.
Be.
It could be the Matrix,
Do you know?
Have we taken that orange pill? It's taken us in a different realm. Not just the simulation, but something else completely.
Yeah. We're actually living in a completely alternate universe. In the real world, we're just on life support.
Yeah, just sitting
bed,
like
people sitting around going, "Oh, I don't
how
know
much
if I'm
stress
gonna
can
make
we
it."
subject them to in the simulation till they just eventually?
Well, do you know what? Like, I had one of those moments where, with the whole Libra meme coin thing recently, and when Hayden Davis, this Kelsior Ventures CEO, when he put out that video and he was wearing that mad hoodie Gryffindor top thing, I was just like, am I imagining things? I thought I was hallucinating.
Every day is another psyop. Every day is another psyop. What is going on?
Yeah, there are lots of people out there. I think CZ, Binance CZ. I think he genuinely believes we're living in a simulation.
He does really.
Yeah, I've heard that said.
Oh, okay.
CZ, if you're watching, please confirm. But this is what I've heard. I mean, we wouldn't know. That's the whole. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Will Bitcoin hit $200,000 in 2025?
Oh, 200,000 in 2025. No.
This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one because I remember the last time I did this, I did with Jess, and it was will Bitcoin. This is last year, and will Bitcoin hit 100K in 2024? And I was like, yeah, it will. And she said no, and I was right. But this time it's a bit more difficult. I'm going to say no.
Okay, well that's it. No
200K.
Nick's called it.
But okay, I mean, I guess this is the question, the actual number itself. I think that 150K, I think, is definitely likely. Yeah. Definitely. 200K is a bit of a push. There's many factors, right? There wasn't factors there. It's conditional, right? I mean, it's based on numerous things. Are we going to get a Bitcoin strategic reserve? Are you going to get nation state accumulation? All these other things that potentially, in terms of liquidity inflows that we could see later on, will we have QE this year? It seems unlikely now, especially because we haven't stopped QT. So there's many factors now in terms of that I see conditionally that don't exist for us to reach the 200K level.
Yeah, I personally think we'll stall in the mid-80s. In the mid-180s. So I think it'll get to maybe like 184, 185. And I think that will be the top for this year. But going into the future, 200K, I think
100%,
is pre-programmed.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Will the Memecoin supercycle ever happen?
Bro, I think that the Memecoin supercycle is basically cooked.
Yeah. No Memecoin supercycle.
It's cooked, bro. It's cooked.
I think
sorry, Murad. I mean, it's cooked, bro.
But this is like, again, because I was talking about this recently with Rob from Digital Asset News, and we were saying, like, Murad made that thesis, like, and I think it was a really well thought out thesis. Like, I've never really agreed with it, but I think the reasoning behind it was fairly solid. Like, and I think it's something that could well have come to pass. But it's a bit like all these kind of, these political ideas. It's a bit like communism.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It sounds like it might be a good idea on paper.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, but once you put it into the hands of humans, they screw it up and
exactly.
turn it into
in
something
theory
horrible.
and practice, exactly. Because theoretically, it's a very interesting and it's compelling. It makes sense, right, when you think about it. But then, like you say, just then they're intellectually conceptualizing something versus putting people behind it. giving them the the option to go and snipe liquidity and just the race to the bottom in terms of how much they can extract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as communism didn't make account for Joseph Stalin, so the Memecoin supercycle thesis didn't make account for Hayden Davis.
And also the tragedy of the commons, because the concept that everyone is operating the Memecoins in the Memecoin sector is their, feeling of like community and kinship, which is not the case. It's very PvP, max extraction right now.
Yeah.
So greedy humans.
Greedy humans. Horrible greedy humans in their simulation.
Yeah.
Will we ever know who the real Satoshi Nakamoto is?
No, and that's the way it should be. But have you been reading this thing about Jack Dorsey?
Jack Dorsey, yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
I say no as well, because I don't think the real Satoshi himself would ever admit it. But there will definitely as we get further and further along and better investigation methods come to the fore, it will become clearer who could be. Although, to be fair, like once it's one of the guys who have passed, then that will be like he can't really refute it, so it'll never know.
Yeah.
I do think if he does exist and if he's living, I don't think he'll come out and admit it, which would be the.
I think there'll always be uncertainty around it, and I guess that's partly because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like it's one of these nice ideas, but as soon there's just so much at stake. And as we've seen with sort of certain individuals in the space, people are willing to come and sort of say, "Yeah, I'm Satoshi," and they're not. And I think that is going to muddy the issue still further. So I think maybe more candidates will emerge. Maybe one of the current candidates, their case will be strengthened. But I don't think we'll ever really know for sure.
No.
Are we doomed?
Gives you an idea of the kind of sentiment that's out there in crypto.
What is he talking about generally?
Yeah.
Or in crypto specifically?
Does the notion of entropy mean that all human endeavor is ultimately pointless?
Did you see that? I saw something interesting. Apparently NASA says that there's a chance of a meteor. Did you see this? The chance of meteorite hitting the Earth at 3% by 2030 or something?
2032 perhaps? Yeah. But sometime around there.
Crazy. I saw an interesting tweet about that. It said, there you go, guys. There's more chance of a meteorite hitting the Earth than your altcoins recovering. But if that a 3% chance, we are doomed, right? Because if a meteorite hits the Earth, we're going to die together with all our hopes of our altcoins.
That will be someone else's excuse. It's like the meme with the dinosaurs. You see the meteorite, and there'll be the meteorite. It's like, is this priced in? What does this mean for my bags?
Exactly. Oh man, yeah.
Good question. Yeah, did I reply? Yeah, we're all doomed.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We do.
Did we judge Gary Gensler too harshly?
Oh no, this is a good one. Hey?
No, we did not judge Gary Gensler too harshly. I know at the moment he's sitting there laughing at us from MIT over this whole Libra Memecoin scandal thing. But this is partly his doing. If he'd done his job properly and put proper regulations in place and gone after the right people, then I don't think Libra could have happened. Scammers expand to fill a vacuum, and that's what.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We did one, like exactly, there was this vacuum created that they didn't have a rules or regulations that people have now filled. His like whole incentive and the rationale behind it was not like he was actually caring for the industry. It's not like he wanted to create rules of the road. It was all about, he viewed us all as one monolith that was all out there to scam as many people as possible. We know there are scammers in the crypto space. We know there are miscreants and wrongdoers, and they need to be treated separately and more harshly than the whole sector as a whole. Whereas he just viewed us as one big sector that all needed to be crushed.
Yeah, I think it's such a shame because like he did understand the technology, and I think if he'd taken the time to sort of think about it in a more nuanced way, and not necessarily like, again, there's this idea I think that the crypto industry has always been asking for special treatment. That's not the case, but if he looked at it more closely and sort of tried to approach it from a positive angle, like here's a transformative technology. It can be used for good and it can be used for ill. Why not find a way that it's used for good and stop it being used for ill, rather than just assume that the whole thing is just going to be used for bad things by bad people? Like that got us absolutely nowhere, and 4 years have been wasted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. Are we done for questions?
We maybe need you guys to argue something.
Just argue about something.
Rooibos tea is the ultimate tea.
Rooibos tea. Oh, bro,
Rooibos
it is,
tea.
man. Yeah. Have you drunk rooibos tea?
I think I've had rooibos tea before, but I barely drink tea.
What?
So I basically drink
But you're
coffee.
a Brit, you don't drink tea.
I know.
What am I hearing here?
I know. Oh, I
This
should
is crazy.
cut that out. Cut that out. Just stop the recording.
God, the queen is turning in her grave, guys. Guy, Jesus.
British YouTuber in shocking revelation.
Does not drink tea. Wow. Mate.
Oh, dear.
Well,
Well,
rooibos
that's-
tea is great, mate. Yeah, it's got lots of antioxidants. It's also caffeine free. Yeah.
Okay, well,
It stands for Red Bush.
Red Bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Sponsored by Rooibos Tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I need to go and get some Rooibos tea.
I got some in the pantry, bro. Let's try it out now. Be your first day trying rooibos tea. Maybe we should do something behind the scenes. Guy tries his first sip of a rooibos tea. A Brit trying some rooibos tea.
I don't think
Better
anyone
than Earl Grey.
expected.
Better than Earl Grey every day of the week, mate.
I don't think anyone expected the video to end like that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks. Send in more questions via Instagram or wherever. And if you like this video, then we will do another one. And who knows, maybe we'll come to blows then.
Let us know down below, guys, if you want to see more. There we go. Cheers, guys.